So, yeah, I am extremely patient when it comes to the service industry. I worked in food service for a short time. When the dot-com bust happened, I went back to it. And I was raised by a mom who lived her whole life like that. And, I've seen the ridiculous customers that are just out of hand. Before the word Karen was a thing, it was just these entitled jackasses leaving a 2-cent tip. I've seen these people. So in order to not be one, I go out of my way, maybe a little too far sometimes, to not be that person. So the other night, and so does Teresa. She never worked in food service industry, but she was raised the same way of like, oh no, you don't call the manager for a minor inconvenience. You just put it aside. It's all good. So the other night, the family's out to dinner, and the wait was, a little longer than usual than we'd hoped for, but we got in, all was good. And from the very start, as soon as we were seated, we're like, all right, something's not right. Everybody was busy, and our waiter took forever. The server just didn't seem to give a shit. And no utensils, no bread, no, the standard stuff when you sit down. Guy comes around, finally takes the drink order, and as soon as he hears the last drink, just walks away. Not, hey, I'll get that right, I'll get that right out, it'll be right up, be right back. Nothing. Just hears the last thing, I'll have a water. He turns, walks away. Okay. So, comes back later, we get an appetizer, and I have to, I get up and I have to actually ask for like, hey, can we get some utensils, or I have to go whip and get them. Again, he hears the order and no recognition, just walks away. Okay. And then finally, round 3, the same exact thing happens. We order our food, and he just, it's like he's not paying attention. The order's coming, but we got the appetizer, we got the drinks, but he just didn't. So 20 minutes go by, 30 minutes go by, and now we're all kind of feeling edgy. We're looking around, we're seeing everybody's busy, and so, being me, I take my time. Like, all right, you know what? They're busy tonight. Kitchen's in the weeds. You just let it be. It's going to be a long night. It's okay. And finally, I'm seeing everybody else getting taken care of, and there's this guy just wandering around, and he's not coming back to the table. Not only did he not have any kind of personality, no, bedside manner, if you will, but he's not coming around, filling drinks or nothing. Man, if you swing by the table once every 5 minutes on your way to the next emergency and say, hey, I know we're busy, we're running behind, I'll be right with you. Man, I will wait till the end of time for you. I will have all the patience in the world. But if I've got to hunt you down, and even then have no luck getting you, my patience starts to wane real fast. So we've been in this restaurant 2 hours. An hour, it was a long wait, and then there was, whether when I got seated. So it was an hour since we sat down. And I pull a 20 out of my wallet, and I'm like, I'm dropping this on the table. We're all walking out of here. Screw this. We'll just pay for the appetizer and a Coke, and we're out. And, of course, Teresa's like, you can't do that, can't do that. I'm like, the hell I can't? Watch this happen. So, all right, fine. So I call a manager over. She comes over and says, yeah, it's really busy. We're running behind. And then when I tell her what has happened, and she's like, holy crap, I'm so sorry. No, don't pay for the appetizer. Just, you're fine. Go. Don't pay for it. You're good. The waiter, finally seeing that the manager's at our table, finally ambles his way on over as though, it's a nice Sunday stroll. And he says, oh, their food's about ready. It's on its way out. And I'm like, box it. She says, can you box it to go? And I'm like, all right, I'll pay. I'll pay for the food. But yeah, let's get it to go. We've got a 2-year-old needs to go to bed, man. We've been here 2 hours. she insists we don't pay. She's like, no, 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 no. You're taking this. It's on me. It's all good. And I insist like twice, like, hey, I'm not looking to get nothing for free. I'm not that guy who's going to complain to a manager. And no, she insisted. It's like, it's really bad, but even on a bad day, you shouldn't have to deal with that. So she boxes it up, insists, and so, yeah, we take it. All right. Get it home. Orders are wrong. It's wrong, overcooked, crap food. It's just everything went wrong, man. But, the manager coming over and trying to, stop the bleeding, made it nice. I'm sorry, not made it nice. Made it worthwhile. Like, all right, I will go back. She did her job. She made me want to go, all right, this was a really bad experience. This kid needs to get a job on the grill or as a bubble dancer or, I don't know, maybe parking cars. But he definitely does not belong tableside. So the funny part of this is as we're packing up the to-go boxes and we're ready to go, Teresa looks at everybody and she goes, do we still leave a tip? And like everybody at the table like slapped her. It was like, no, that was the only problem here, was that guy. So I hope the kid, gets a kick in the shorts. Get into the right career, man, because this ain't it for you. So on the way home, we're talking about it, and Trace and I, we're both that person, like I started out with, and so we're both feeling a little guilty, like, oh, this didn't feel right. We're not that person. And Teresa said, God, what would your mom say that you called the manager? And I said, Mom would probably be mad at me for not calling a manager over earlier, because there's a gauge. You start with the gauge low, and okay, where a normal person would be upset, you're patient. Where another person would be, you maybe do this. When the gauge goes up, we're always 2 or 3 degrees below where it is, because we're the patient types, right? But there's a point where that gauge crosses a certain line where it's like, you're an idiot if you didn't call a manager. No, when it's wrong, it's wrong. And that's the point where we did something about it. But to this day, it still feels, this happened this weekend. It's Tuesday now, and I'm still feeling guilty about it. It's weird. Anyway, I thought that was funny. Do we still leave a tip? So, all right, guys, be good.